A lot of women ask me why their spouse sometimes become distant, and especially what they can do about it. There are many reasons why men become distant. Of course, there's external to the relationship reasons. I think part of being a man is that we sometimes have to go back into the cave alone and just think, or that could be at times where we have completed a big task or dream or vision and nothing new has showed up. We kind of have to retract and find our new mission. And there's other reasons, but as a suggestion to the relationship, I think the one thing I would point to of what can be because of the relationship is that there's a big difference between a man that is satisfied sexually, like generally satisfied sexually, and a man that is generally not satisfied sexually in the relationship. So I'm not saying that sex is the only issue and can cure everything, but I have found that the first thing I look to when I have questions or a client talks to me about that, this is to ask to the sexual relationship, because most men, or a lot of men, for them sex is an ingredient to the relationship that is essential. As a general thing, I have found that for a lot of women it's not as essential, it's more like a dessert, which is very nice, but they can be without it as long as they kind of have the connection on other levels with their spouse. But for men, I found for most men, or many men, it's an essential part, and if it doesn't function, then they can become distant. So because of that, that's always the first place I ask to, and for that reason I would suggest, and I do suggest, women to think that first. It's really tricky because it's not just something that you can just ask about. I think a lot of men either are not aware of it or won't immediately admit it, because we find it very primitive ourselves that if we just have more sex or some sex, or we are sexually satisfied, then we function better. And I will also say that it's something that men can work with. It's kind of like a substance that we really, really like, and like all other substances, we can learn to live without it or with less of it. But most men haven't learned it, so it's kind of, he can work on it, he should work on it, and I'm not saying that a woman should do everything and should take on the responsibility to make him happy or make him sexually satisfied, because I don't think that's the responsibility of the woman. What I am saying is that if it's a challenge for the woman about her husband being distant, then I think that's the lowest hanging fruits. That's kind of a metaphor for that, but it's low hanging fruits to look into this. But it's not so low hanging that it's not difficult. It's very difficult because it's probably one of the most difficult areas of a sexual or committed relationship. So, but that's where I would look.